Sachin Bhandary from The Story Co. and yours truly, Hrishi K. I've been coming at you 8 to 8:30 on the radio, 94.3 on the FM band, Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, supplemented with a video episode 48 hours later on the Mint YouTube channel. And we like to believe that we're trying to change your life in a small little way, at least as far as business and leadership avenues are concerned. Welcome, Sachin. Great to see you, man. Looking all natty. On that note, how many times have we heard people say, "Oh my God, I'm an introvert in an extroverted workplace"? I don't know how I'd be if I was a constant introvert. Then I would do lots of meetings, which my team might not like. Right now, I keep it to minimal meetings. But your thoughts on that? Introverts in an extroverted workplace.
Right. I think a lot of the things that we've discussed even on this show, Rishi, is with an assumption that people are extroverts and they are very comfortable speaking to a bunch of people and all that. I think that's something that made me realize it, because I was talking to a friend of mine who spoke about, but what tips do you have for introverts? And it's true that a lot of people do not want to put themselves out there, do not want to talk all the time. And that reminds me of this particular manager or a boss that I used to work with when I was in PR, in public relations. There was one day in Delhi, it was a chilly afternoon. We had taken, we had managed the Auto Expo, came back, and one of our spokespeople, the CEO of a company, said something he was not supposed to say.
Inopportune.
And the media
Inopportune moment.
Right.
And something that should not
in
have
an
been said.
interview. In an interview. And he said something which he was not supposed to say. And the journalist, of course, filed the story. And then I was the executive on the account. So we were supposed to manage that. Now, if it was an extroverted boss, he would have given me some gyan and just walked away and let me deal with the situation. But this gentleman, his name is Aman Hashpat. Aman, if I'm not wrong, now leads the communications department for Southeast Asia for HSBC in Singapore, the last I remember. So Aman actually did not give me any gyan. He just told me, "Sachin, let's go ahead and make all the calls that you need to, and I will be standing right here next to you."
Wow.
Yeah. And I told him, "Aman, it's all right. If you want to leave, there's no problem." He said, "No, don't worry. I'll be right here. And anything you need, I'll be able to help you. And I will continue to help you till the time we manage this." And after a while, I was a bit bored, irritated with all the challenges of those calls, of sort of convincing the journalist to take down the story. And I told Aman, "No, Aman, why don't you take the calls now?" And he said, "No, I'm not going to do that either. I'm here to support you through this, but I want you to actually go ahead and manage this crisis, because it's all yours and the credit should be all yours too." So by the end of the day, it was managed. But that day, I truly learned a great leadership lesson, that you don't need to be like a flamboyant, great speaker, somebody who always seeks the spotlight. Leadership can many times be about putting someone else under the spotlight, which is what Aman did really well. And it's something that I think has served him well through his career.
Well, I'd like to dwell on some more learnings or insights that we can derive from this wonderful story. And you would be the best person to elaborate. Often, extroverts are people who like to speak to large groups of people as much as they like to speak to small groups of people. Introverts are more comfortable having one-on-one conversations.
That's right.
As opposed to speaking to multitudes or the world at large. Would you advise introverts to take it step by step? Maybe look for one-on-one opportunities. Introverts are also better at writing down their thoughts,
right,
as opposed to expressing them verbally.
Yeah.
Or would you also like to talk about teamwork here and how maybe one introvert and one extrovert together could hunt in pairs?
100%. Yeah. So first thing is that I think an introvert should not think that he or she is at a disadvantage, because, I heard this in a talk that when you go to conferences and you always have people coming up to you and giving you their cards and, pitching their business, etc., etc. But let's say if you're an introvert and you are more happy listening to people, nobody's going to ever say that, "Hey, don't go towards that guy. He listens a lot." Right? So in a world where everyone is speaking, listening is actually a superpower. And some of the tips for introverts are: number one, I think, like you just mentioned, Hrishi, introverts have the ability to ask the right questions.
True.
Because they are not necessarily wanting to sit and give all the answers. But sometimes a person who ask the right question can help your team find out the right strategy, the right course of action, etc. So utilize your power to be able to ask the right question. The second thing, like you mentioned, as opposed to always trying to struggle in a setup where there are a lot of people and you have to sort of go outside your comfort zone, seek one-on-one opportunities. Sometimes rather than just directly meeting the boss in that big meeting, why don't you ask your boss, hey, can I just come down the evening before and just walk you through what my thoughts are? Because then your boss and you are on the same page, and that will sort of reduce the burden on you in the meeting. And the third thing could be, pair up, like you said, with somebody who's an extrovert, because both of you, if you present together, you will be able to make sure that you have all aspects covered. The last thing, which also you mentioned, is build your writing muscle. If you're somebody who's more comfortable expressing your thoughts on paper, on email, those things can also help. So it's not always about spoken communication. Sometimes written communication can also do the trick. So those are my tips.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And amalgamation of tips. You came in looking for one and you got a whole bevy of them. Sachin Bhandary is an excellent person to work with your top, middle, as well as lower management. Or if you want to use stories as a medium to get insights into situations, work issues, and problems, you should hire him. He does one-on-one sessions, he does workshops, and also now has just started a community. You want to tell us about it?
That is right, Hrishi. Yes. It's a community where people can come and practice their business storytelling and communication skills. Simple 90-second stories. So if you're curious to know more about how you can actually progress your career, your entrepreneurship, or even your leadership within a company, just go to my LinkedIn, look for Sachin Bhandary, and on my profile, there will be a link which will say get in touch or stay in touch. Click on that. You can either subscribe to the newsletter, get on a call with me if you want me to help your organization, or you can also come down and, visit our community meeting and see if you'd like to be a part of it.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing you next week, my friend. Cheers.
Look
Bye-bye.
forward.